call to order for the Indigenous Commission meeting today on October 9th at 12:10 p.m. now that we have quorum. And I'll go through roll call. Diana Kudiai, not present. Linda Curley, not present. Fawn Toya.
Present.
Great. Darren Lance. Okay, not present. Kimberly Husky.
She's excused absence.
Excused absence. Lauren Kaibatoni.
Present.
Yay. Daryl Marks.
Present.
Marion Marshall.
Present.
And me, Mariah Zavala, here. And we'll go ahead. Fawn, if you could do the land acknowledgement, that would be super awesome, please.
Okay, I'm just trying to see if I can find mine.
I don't
Agenda.
think she can
That's
see.
the whole reason we're having you lead the meeting, Mariah. Sorry.
No, you're good. Lauren, do you have the agenda up to read the land acknowledgement this afternoon?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. The Flagstaff City Council humbly acknowledges the ancestral homelands of this area's Indigenous nation and original stewards. These lands, still inhabited by Native descendants, border mountains sacred to Indigenous peoples. We honor them, their legacies, their traditions, and their continued contributions. We celebrate their past, present, and future generations who will forever know this place as home.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. Public comment. At this time, any member of the public may address the commission on any subject within their jurisdiction that is not scheduled before the commission on that day. Due to open meeting laws, the commission cannot discuss or act on items presented during this portion of the agenda. To address the commission on an item that is on the agenda, please wait for the chair to call for public comment at the time the item is heard. Anybody from the public wanting to share anything? Okay. Moving on to item 4, approval of minutes. September and October minutes will be on this agenda. Is it motion
No.
or?
It's on November agenda.
Okay. Motion to approve? Or is it
No, there's no minutes. It'll be
Oh.
on the next agenda.
Okay, great. Then we can move to the next item.
Mhm.
Great. General business, section A, commission ending terms. 2 commissioners' terms will be ending on December 1st, 2024. Discussion on reapplying, associated timeline, and release of recruitment information. And we have a few more things. Indigenous Peoples Day celebration. Oh, no, that's discussion items. So
So let's go. Yeah, let's go into the commissioners ending terms. So we have 2 that are ending December 1st. One of them is Commissioner Marks, and then the other one is Commissioner Toya. So, and if you've already served a term and you were I'm in Lori's position. My words aren't forming right.
It's contagious.
Yeah, the only thing we need to check, I think both of you are able to reapply if you want to. However, the things apply, like you have to live within the city limits, those kinds of things. And so just want to let you know, and if you are wanting to reapply, let me know, because there's a certain amount of applications that we need to make sure that they land on the council's agenda. The deadline to apply is going to be November 6th. So please apply before then, and I can have, individual contact with each of you, with Commissioner Marks and also Commissioner Fawn Toya. So you can let me know what's going on. So then December, let me see here. Let me get my calendar up. December, I believe the 3rd. Let me grab my calendar really quick. I believe it was December 3rd that that is the day. Or, yes, that's the day that we're going to have council reappoint those two positions. So
Okay, so that would be like pretty much our last meeting then?
your last meeting will be in so the way that the city board and commissions work is that you'll still be on, you're welcome to stay on until that the reappointment is made. So
Okay,
November, if the reappointments are made on December 3rd, then November would be your last meeting.
okay,
But for whatever reason, it gets extended to maybe into January because we don't have enough applications, then
Right.
you can stay on until your reappointment. The only thing that will matter with Commissioner Toya is that if you're not living within the city limits, then that's when you're kind of automatically off.
okay. Yeah, I still have my address here. I just, I'm just more out in Hopi, so like everything on my license, my pay stub address is still here. Although I spend more days out there. But anyway, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, we can talk about further, and we can talk to Stacy, the city clerk, to let us know exactly what those lines are.
Right. Okay, sounds good.
Daryl, do you want to say anything about what you're thinking?
Let me talk with you in a separate space.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to make sure that that you were the ones that had the ending terms, and also the recruitments are going to go out. I just sent a message to our community engagement specialist, and she's going to be releasing that recruitment out just to let her know. Also, I announced it at city council yesterday.
May I ask a question? Did anyone make it to city council yesterday?
Raya?
Yes, Lauren and I were able to attend yesterday, Fawn.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you both.
Absolutely, I'm glad we were. It was really nice. And it gave me enough time to look like a person, so no problem at all. Just glad we were able to make it work. That's always a big one,
Great.
getting that day. You guys the city will be closed, right, on Monday?
Yes.
I love it. That's wonderful.
Yes, I got that approved last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. She did. She went to bat for us, and we got it an official Indigenous Peoples Day holiday. And this is going to be the first year that the city's going to officially recognize that going forward.
Woohoo!
Paid holiday.
Paid holiday. And that's what, we've talked about from the beginning, many years ago. Right, Daryl, Commissioner Marks?
Yeah, way back in.
Way back.
Before all of our time here, so.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions regarding this item?
Rose, upon discussion with Fawn and Daryl, what if or when decisions are made on reapplying or not, will you let us know and then we could share the application with other potential attendee, not attendees, potential applicants or anything like that?
Well, it really kind of doesn't matter.
Oh.
It's just for own personal information if these two are going to reapply, but the application is open to anyone who wants to apply, regardless um, of them reapplying. But it's just kind of helpful to know for us internally, just so that we have that information, and then the council will look at all the qualified applicants, and then they'll choose which ones they want to reappoint or appoint.
Okay, sounds good. Time to move to item 6, other discussion items.
Let me go ahead and share my screen just so we can go through this together. This is it. So the main flyer is still being worked on by our community engagement specialist. So this is my write-up to her so that she can have it, so she can make it pretty. So this is what I'm sharing with you. So again, we're kind of keeping these ones reflecting, honoring, and resilience. We're going to keep those, but our theme is voices for land and community. Of course, the day, Elks Lodge, and then the 9 o'clock is going to be opening session. We're going to have the opening prayer, the welcome, the land acknowledgement. Excuse me. And then Mayor Daggett's going to read the Indigenous Peoples Day proclamation. And then we're going to go into the first session, which is the journey of prayer to the Supreme Court to save Oak Flat. And this is just really a lot of informative and educational presentations. And just so we make the community aware of what certain things are really important to Indigenous communities, and why they end up in the court system, those kinds of things. And so our Basse Pike, she's going to be the presenter. She's also the NAU Indigenous Ambassador. She's also part of Apache Stronghold, and she's also the granddaughter of Dr. Winslow Nosey, Senior, who is the person who's leading this effort to the Supreme Court. So she's going to talk about that. And then the other one is that co-chair Lance, he wanted to get some Indigenous business people together and to just give the community what some of our Indigenous businesses are doing in town. It's not a recruitment for customers format. It's more to have them share who they are, what they specialize in, and just what kinds of work they've done within the community. So that's just to highlight some Indigenous business owners. And then the last presentation is going to be about working towards healing from the trauma of uranium mining. And this is really around the Grand Canyon. It's also going to be an educational presentation from a person who's a member of the Havasupai people. Fawn, if you're able to let me mute Montgomery.
Sorry, yeah.
So this is just understanding what that uranium mining is about at Grand Canyon. And we were talking about how there's a lot of people who don't understand some of the things that have happened regarding grandfathering in certain uranium mining, and then others that have been stopped, those kinds of things. So she's going to go through that and what Havasupai people have gone through. So that's going to be a pretty interesting one. And then we're going to serve our light traditional meal provided by the planning committee and their partners. So we'll be having at least maybe 8 to 10 people that are going to be bringing pots of stew, crock pots of stew to feed the people. So I'm thinking maybe we're going to have like around 10 crock pots that will feed like around 100 people. That's what we're anticipating. We're going to have the stews, and then we have a person who's going to make all the yeast rolls, and council member Matthews is also going to make some of her own bread. And then there's Commissioner Marianne Marshall is also going to make some yeast rolls as well. So we're going to have plenty of food, and bread is always one of those things that's good to break together. So that's what we're doing. And then the sides are going to be more like fruits, apples and oranges and watermelon. So those are going to be some side things that people can take. We have a person from the county, her sister's going to make a bunch of cookies. So that's going to be our dessert. So on our planning committee, we have people from the county, we have our commissioners, we have some community members, and then we also have Dorothy from NACA, who's been on our on our group. So I really appreciate those people who are contributing their time. And then the last event is going to be the cultural share, and that is going to be people of the tall pine bird dancers from the Wallapai tribe. And these are elders, women elders from the Wallapai who will provide those dances and the songs. And then at the end, we're going to do an appreciation. I have some t-shirts and some caps for the event that we're going to be passing out to attendees. And then we're going to have a closing prayer. And then we're also, the city sponsoring, the Indigenous Commission is sponsoring. I'm going to put also the county logo on here. And then I also did a donation letter to NTOA. I haven't heard, but I think they're going to donate something they had for the co-talkers. So we'll be using some of their donation towards food as well. And maybe some honor gifts for those who are volunteering on the agenda. Okay, so that concludes the agenda for the day. Is there any questions you have about that? Maybe something that maybe skipped that I didn't catch?
Is there any other support you need that day, Rose? Like you've got an MC and a speaker and all those things down?
Well, I was gonna ask to see if you'd be willing to do our MC again. My voice is just terrible. If you're gonna be there, then that would be great. Otherwise, was gonna ask if Commissioner Marks could be our MC.
Yeah, I can make that work, and I can get a speaker again if you'd like. Check in with the chamber if that's available.
Oh yes, you mean the microphone thing?
Yeah.
Yes, we need that. Yes, please bring that.
Yeah.
And then I had also asked Commissioner Marks about some students doing the land acknowledgement and maybe the welcome. Oh, that was what I was thinking. Not commissioner. I'm sorry. I'm just like a little bit congested that my brain isn't working so well. Councilmember Lori, are you able to provide a welcome?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Let me
Work
have
on
you.
that.
I'll put you down for welcome.
I promise I won't take any cold medicine
Okay.
so I can speak.
All right. I'll put you down for that, and then we'll think about the other two. Commissioner Marks is going to let me know when he hears from the students.
Great. I can move some things around, but would you be comfortable if I came at 10:30? I have a few meetings that morning, but if a 9 o'clock is like required, I can move some stuff around and be there by 9. Otherwise, the
Yeah.
whole my day is blocked.
Yes. If you're going to be our MC, we need you there at 9 o'clock.
You got it. Perfect.
I'm glad you reminded me of the PA system. I was thinking about it this morning when I was thinking about the tablers. So we're also going to have some tablers, and they're going to take up some side space. So that'll be cool.
Awesome. I don't have any other questions unless anybody else from the team wants to jump in before we go to item B regarding Native American Heritage Month proclamation. Okay, on to item B, review and provide recommendations and edits to the Native American Heritage Month proclamation. The proclamation will be read at the City Council meeting on October 22nd, 2024. If time becomes limited, there will be a need for 2 volunteers to complete this review. It would be a privilege for members of the commission to attend the council meeting during the reading and accept the proclamation. Also, ideas on what we can plan for that month.
Okay. I'm going to share the proclamation from 2 years ago, from 2020. Last year, somehow our proclamations got mixed up, and we ended up having a proclamation that was a lot older than what we have. And so this is what we had from 2020, 2022. If you can take a little bit of time to read it and see if there's some things that you want to update or things that should be, anyway, I just want to give you a few minutes to read this. Can you all see this? Or do you want me to read, or do you want Mariah to read it for you?
I can read it just so we're all on the same page and following along. The United States of America was founded on the cognizance that all of us are created equal and deserve equal treatment, equal dignity, and equal opportunity. However, the promise of our nation has been denied to Indigenous people who have lived on this land since time immemorial. Despite a painful history made clear by unjust federal policies of assimilation and termination, Indigenous peoples have persevered and claimed resiliency. During this month, the city of Flagstaff celebrate the myriad of contributions of Indigenous peoples past and present, honor the influence they have had on the advancement of our community and nation, and recommit ourselves to upholding trust and responsibilities, strengthening our relationships, and advancing Native self-determination. Approximately 12% of the citizens in the city of Flagstaff are members of Indigenous nations and include the 14 local nations who hold this land and bordering mountains as sacred. In addition, Northern Arizona University serves students who are representative of over 100 indigenous nations. We also need to take time to honor Indigenous veterans and service members who selflessly continue to serve in our military, including the brave Native American code talkers in World War I and World War II. For over 2 centuries, Native Americans have defended our country during every major conflict and continue to serve at a higher rate than any other ethnic group in the nation because their roots are deeply enriched in this land. The Flagstaff City Council established the Indigenous Commission to advise the City Council on issues and methods in promoting diversity, equity, and inclusive planning with Indigenous perspective within the City of Flagstaff. And the Indigenous Commission supports the designation of the month of November 2022 as Native American Heritage Month. in unison with all local, Indigenous, state, and national observances. Now, therefore, it would be Becky Dackett, Mayor of the City of Flagstaff, Arizona, do hereby proclaim November 2024 as Native American Heritage Month and encourage our community to learn about and appreciate the history and heritage and contributions of Native American as Indigenous peoples of this great land. I feel like there's some edits we could totally make in there.
Okay, just let me know where.
I would love to hear from the commission about the use of the word Indigenous peoples and Native Americans and how it's used throughout that document, because it kind of goes back and forth. And I don't know if we should choose one or the other or just like clean up certain sections, because I feel like the tone really flips around throughout.
Can we hear from commissioners, please?
This is Commissioner Marks. I was also going to ask about that. I think that it would be important, since we've been using the word Indigenous even within this commission, that we stick with that language of Indigenous. I know that with like Native American Heritage Month, that's kind of the national identifier for that, but it'd be good for us to focus on I guess like a singular word of like Indigenous for the purposes of the work that's been done in Flagstaff, but also the work that continues to happen. And Rose, I'm curious if you remember when we first worked with the city to get the Indigenous Peoples' Day proclamation um, wording organized. We did have conversations at the time with city about each year bringing in a new element to the proclamation, to the agreement with Indigenous community, and continually like expanding on that conversation or that language, so that both groups were kind of moving towards a more ideal relationship between the two. Do you recall that?
I don't recall that being part of a proclamation, but I mean, it's certainly something that we can expand the conversation on again, and to just kind of be all on the same page about it.
Wonderful. If you want, I can send you the original draft that we ended up having to compromise or negotiate with the city to see if there's elements from that we can still carry over. And then I think it's important for the commission to explore opportunities to bring in more current or present um, ideas and efforts that are happening in our community now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's I think we just need to kind of there's the conversation around Indigenous Peoples' Day, which the proclamation has been read at yesterday's council meeting, and that proclamation is going to be read on Monday. Then there's Native American Heritage Month that's coming up, that also has language that is, that's why we're going through this right now for November. So I just want to keep the two there, because sometimes people get confused about what's what. So anyway, but yeah, if you can send me the original information on this. I think that when we were talking about that, we might have been talking about Indigenous Peoples' Day, because that was the reason why there were recommendations made based on Indigenous Peoples' Day. Native American Heritage Month has always been kind of there. However, I don't know if city had ever had a Native American Heritage Month that was proclaimed, that was in a proclamation, except through the Commission on Diversity, which is where some of this information had come from. Some, not all. We added a bunch. So can you send that to me then, Daryl?
Yes, I can send that to you. And I believe from when the Indigenous Circle of Flagstaff was having all of the forums, I don't recall the city ever mentioning or stating that they had any kind of recognition. Up to that point, it was primarily coming from the county and their recognition. And I think that was something that they had adopted about 10 years before and were encouraging that. And I don't think the city ever had a recognition up to the most recent recognition of Indigenous Peoples Day for Native American Heritage Month. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember being shared during the forums.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is that neither side did Indigenous Peoples Day until we got involved in it. The proclamations for that. But Native American Heritage Month has been part of the county for a while. But for it to be a proclamation, it came from the Diversity Council because there wasn't an Indigenous commission then. I mean, the Commission on Diversity. Do you understand what I meant? Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, I understand. I think we're saying the same thing, just in different ways.
Yeah. Well, what tripped me up was when you referred back to Native American Heritage Month. Yeah. Okay. We're tripping each other up. Yeah, even today, the county doesn't reckon, I mean, doesn't do a proclamation for Indigenous Peoples Day. And that's one thing I had brought up before, is that why doesn't the county do that? Do the Native American Heritage Month. And I think both Commissioner Kadiai have brought that up before. Any other? So is there what else I mean, if I'm seeing it right now today, what are some things that need to be changed besides what we talked about as far as Native American? Is that what kind of everybody agrees on to do?
Yeah, I'm on there. I think there might be a couple like grammar errors. Like at the end, I think it says for all Native American instead of Americans or anything. So I'm sure just like a quick grammar sweep through and whatever everything you and Daryl discussed.
Okay, so can I get so Commissioner Zavala, can you get a head count on like what people would like to do? Can you count on each commissioner that's here to kind of get a consensus?
Yes. So all in favor of updating the language as discussed between Daryl and Rose and I, could you vote aye? Unmute and say aye if you agree.
Aye.
Okay, Daryl, cool.
This is Lauren. I.
Okay. One, two. Fawn, Commissioner Marshall, Commissioner Toya,
Okay, let me unmute my commissioner.
This is Commissioner Marshall. What was the question? I accidentally logged off.
No problem. It would be to update the language on the proclamation. We discussed the terms like using terminology like Indigenous versus Native Americans, and then Rose and Daryl discussed a bigger issue. Well, not bigger issue, but a more broader update of other parts of it based on previous discussions they've had that sound aligned with what we do at the commission and with our peoples.
Do you remember if someone's on the phone, how to unmute? Was it star 65 or star something? I think Commissioner Toya needs to unmute.
Let me see. Yeah, I wonder if I
Oh,
could just
she
switch
did.
her. Oh, okay.
Commissioner Toya, can you speak? Are you able to speak? You're unmuted, but there's no sound. I don't know if she can hear us, but we can't hear her.
Well,
This
since
is
it's
Co-Chair Toya. Can you hear me?
yes,
Okay, yeah, I voted aye. Sorry.
great. And Commissioner Marshall, was that an aye to
Yes.
a
I'm sorry about that. Yes.
problem at all? Okay, and then I'm voting aye as well as a commissioner. And I think that's it. So vote.
Commissioner Cuddy, do you have a recommendation, or we want to hear from you? I know you don't have to be voting, but we'd like to get your input.
Yes. No, I was listening to the conversation between you and Daryl, and I remember parts of it because I was on the diversity council during that time. So yeah, I agree with this. And and it was also my concern about the how we should identify ourselves within this proclamation. And I think you guys have we're already on that anyway, to just try to have it as Indigenous. I know that globally and all this, that they're still, or in our country they're still going by Native American Heritage Month, as so. But I think because we worked hard to get Indigenous Peoples Day recognized, I'd like to just keep that as a constant. And I think it will hone in with people in their minds if it hasn't already. So I agree with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. One more question. So, since it's nationally known as Native American Heritage Month, do we keep that where at the end where it says, I, Mayor, hereby proclaim November as Native American Heritage Month? Do we keep that, or do we change that to Indigenous Heritage Month? I know we're probably going to have some pushback on my community members. What do we want to do? Yeah.
This is Diana. I think we can just start doing that. Indigenous Peoples Day and Native American Heritage Month, those, the time frame may be what could be confusing for people. So if we can just keep it like I said, we fought hard for that Indigenous Peoples Day to be recognized. And I think we need to start changing it to the one where it says for the month as well. That's just my opinion. It just keeps less confusion with people. Um, so I think for the most part, I know that a lot of the my family and anybody that's Native, they just they actually like Indigenous, because it encompasses, South American people, Hawaiians, it's very inclusive. So I like that better, even for the month.
Mhm. All right, thank you, Commissioner Kariai.
Can you hear me? This is Co-Chair Toya.
Yes.
This is my opinion for the proclamation that ends in of what you're pertaining to. I feel like utilizing the term Indigenous people is okay in reference to that day, but I feel like also Native American Heritage Month to me refers to the month of November, which is separated. And for one thing that I experience is we have elders from America that are Native, and they've always used the term Native American. So I kind of want to show respect, and this is, like I said, my opinion, to those elders who know us as Native American people of this continent. So that's just my opinion. Thank you.
Anybody else? I think this is a really good conversation, and I think it's something that people have an opinion about, and it's good to have to kind of show that, because you're in many ways representing certain segments of your circles, and so it's important to have that discussion. And I think that's one of the reasons why some words are interchangeable. I mean, there's people who only like to be called Native. Some people who like Native American. Some people in language of policy, sometimes they're American Indian, which, some people don't like. And then there's Indigenous. So I think that in many ways there's room for that for those. But I just need some sort of clarity on how to get this proclamation done.
Rose, do you want to assign like a couple of us to go back and forth in an email about it with some edits and send it to you maybe before the end of the week or something?
I think that would be fine, but I would like to just have a good discussion about it, because I don't want to. I want a good consensus on it. And we need to get this done. Let's see here. I believe it was November 6th. No, next week. I'm sorry, next week, because it has to be read the end of October, because there's some changes in council meetings. It's going to be read. So if we can get it solved next week, the reading's going to be on October 22nd, and there's not going to be a meeting on the 29th. And then the 5th is going to be voting day. So council, some of the leadership is saying that we need to have it sooner. So the 22nd is when it's going to be read. October.
Rose, this is Diana again. I think it's fine the way it is. You can, at the end, as a Native American Heritage Month, November. I'm fine with that for me personally, because that encompasses, as far as a time frame, an event in 1 month. Indigenous Peoples Day, or just Indigenous, it kind of refers, at least to me, to an individual. So so each individual is Indigenous. So we have a recognition for 1 day, instead of a holiday. You know, that was the main thing, to replace Columbus Day. So, but I refer to myself and to others as Native people or Indigenous person. You know, so for me, it's interchangeable. And to have a 1 month recognition as Native American Heritage Month, the word heritage kind of encompasses everybody in there, and everything that has to do with Native culture. So to me, that's kind of the way I look at it. So I'm fine with this. Thanks.
Okay. So should we go ahead and talk about, I can have maybe, as Commissioner Zavala said, maybe we can have 1 or 2 people. Can I have who those two people are, or 3?
I'd be happy to jump on and support Rose.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think Daryl reacted with a thumbs up, maybe.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? I'll jump on it. Did Councilmember leave?
Yeah, hopped off. I have to hop off for another meeting as well, but yeah, I'll definitely jump on there.
Okay. All right. I'll email the both of you, and just give you the details on that. Okay. All right. Oh, you can go on to the next one.
Okay, cool. That's the all right. And so, informational items to and from commissioner members, staff, and future agenda item requests. I'm going to send out an email to my contacts today to get some more people to table or vend on Monday for Indigenous Peoples Day. But if any of you guys have anyone in mind that you definitely want to get that information first, please email me or text me so we can give priority. I know space is mildly limited. But that's all I have.
Commissioner Zavala,
Yes.
I will be emailing you contact. This lady has a portable water filter system. I'd like for her to be invited to the event. As living on the res, you know, we need that filtering water system, and it's a good sustainability item that one can take. So I'll forward her information to you.
Sounds great. Thank you, Commissioner Toya. Anybody
Okay.
else
Thank you.
before we adjourn? Okay, then we'll wrap up the meeting.
Before we go, I'd like to, can you also, we need at least maybe 3 or 4 more people who can volunteer to make stew. Let me know if you can do that. And I can buy the ingredients, you know, whatever you're going to make. So I have, I think, at least 6 people already and I need at least maybe three more. Let me know, or if you can tell someone in your family, that would be awesome. Just email me or text me on that. Thank you.
Hello, I had a question about that. We're coming out to volunteer to help with that. We are from out of town, 100 miles north of Flagstaff. And with the soup, is there anywhere we would be able to prepare it for the event?
No, unfortunately, I'm asking people to prepare it at home and bring it in, but we don't have
Okay.
like a kitchen to use here in town.
Okay, so that would be probably our only obstacle as far as helping out
Mhm.
with doing soup prep.
Okay.
And then bringing it 100 miles to Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you.
All right.
I'm
Yeah.
thank you for helping out in the other ways too, though.
Yeah, and I guess I was kicked off when you all were talking about that, but as far as volunteer, when would you like us at the location? I believe it did say something about Elks Lodge.
Yes, it's at the Elks Lodge, and if you're going to be there from the beginning, the setup is going to be at 8 o'clock, and the programming is going to start at 9.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, and it'll end around 2. So cleanup after that is going to be needed.
Okay. All right. And the supplies and everything, they're all going to be there. We would just help with setup.
Yes, everybody is gonna, well, the tables and chairs are already there. People, people might be bringing in things that might need help setting up. I'll have a bunch of things that need to be set up. So those kinds of things, and in
Okay.
line where food is going to be set up as well, and serving the food,
Okay.
those kinds of things.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you. Commissioner Marks?
I wanted to share, I think Miss Adrasosi, if there is, how much time is needed to prepare the stew or prepare the food? If you're providing all of the material, all of the ingredients. Because one of the things I'm thinking about is those electric uh my brain just went blank.
The
The
roast
electric,
pans,
yeah, thank you. Yes.
roasters. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Would we be able to, if I could bring some to you or provide some of that, would that still allow you the opportunity to participate in making stew? Or is that not an ideal setup?
It sounds like you're offering me your kitchen at your house.
No, I
Um,
was saying to um provide the
Mhm.
roasters and things like that so that you could plug that in and make that on site or somewhere where there's electrical close by.
if it is
Well,
at Elks Lodge, then I'm thinking, if we start it right at 8 o'clock, put everything in, set it on high, I'm thinking it should be ready, before or at least by noon. But if
mhm,
other people are making stew and that takes a little bit longer, then, we'd still have time for that stew to continue cooking.
mhm. So yeah, it
So if,
depends on what others are doing. They might come in and plug in their stuff too. So um, that's the only part that's not uh, uh
So probably not an ideal arrangement.
yeah, I think because
Okay.
we have at least that many coming in, some of them may need to just plug them in to keep it warm until noon. But find out um I'll find out who's doing what and when they're bringing their food. That way they'll help me figure out who's who'll need to plug things in and who's not.
And then the other question I had was, will there be side dishes like salads, cold salads? And if there is that option, we might be able to bring maybe a side salad or two.
Mhm.
We just need to keep it refrigerated.
Okay. Well, there's a kitchen there, but they're not having us use it. They're not gonna, it's not part of the facilities that we're renting. Um, so our menu is really simple. It's gonna be stews. There's gonna be like at least 10 crock pots of stew, of different stews. Some are making beans and some are making mutton, lamb, and other things. And so what some of them are just, vegetarian type ones. Um, we're going to have yeast bread with that, yeast rolls, and then we're also going to have sides. We're only going to have like apples and oranges and watermelon, and then cookies. Someone's going to make cookies for us. So that's it. But if you want to make salad, that's going to be that's up to you. I just won't be able to buy those ingredients. I'm mostly buying ingredients for the stews.
Okay, that sounds good. Yes, I believe a simpler menu is better with especially when you don't know how many people will show up. So yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
Okay.
Rose, this is Lauren.
Okay.
I was gonna say you could put me down to make a pot of stew.
Okay. Great. I'll email you probably in the next day, or probably today or tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Because I need to know because some of them are buying their own stuff, and then I'm also buying stuff for some of the ones who need to. So that I need to find all those things out. Okay. And then I'll shop on Friday. All right.
Okay.
That's all we have. And I think Miss Zavala jumped off. All right.
Rose, this is Diana. I'm still bringing the watermelon. So watermelons.
Okay.
And I'll have it all cut up.
All right.
I'll have it all cut up, before I take it over there. So
that'd be awesome. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So I think that's it. And then if you have any questions, just text me or email me, and we'll go from there. And thanks, Fawn.
You're welcome. Please get well.
Okay, I will. All right, we're adjourned. It is 1:08.
Okay, thank you.